Okay, let's unpack this. Football season truly never stops buzzing, does it? Even deep in the offseason.
Never a dull moment.
And right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are certainly stirring things up.
They really are.
We're talking mini camps, which, sometimes they feel a bit like preseason noise, but they can actually drop some pretty serious hints about what's coming.
Mm-hmm. It really can set the stage.
The whole season, yeah.
And what stands out about minicamps is precisely how these early, maybe seemingly minor indicators, they can truly shape expectations.
Yeah.
Not just for players, but like for the whole franchise direction. It's more than just drills.
Right. It's about seeing how the new pieces fit, how the coaching clicks.
Exactly. Where the energy is,
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at the 3 hottest Jacksonville Jaguars takes coming out of their 2025 minicamp.
Some bold ones in there.
Yeah, they are. So our mission for you listening is to really pull out the key nuggets from the source material. This comes from Yardbarker, originally posted on NFL on Clutch Points.
Good stuff.
And these aren't just like small observations. These are some bold predictions that could really define the Jags season.
Definitely headline grabbers.
So let's jump right in. First up, the main man, Trevor Lawrence.
The cornerstone, yeah.
Okay, so the first big prediction, and honestly, maybe the most important for Jacksonville, is that Trevor Lawrence is set up to have the best statistical season of his career in 2025.
Which is saying something, given the expectations he came in with.
Exactly. You know the story, generational talent, all that hype. And look, he's definitely their franchise quarterback. I mean, that huge $275 million contract, that settles that.
No doubt about that.
But his actual production on the field, it hasn't quite hit that, pre-draft ceiling consistently.
Right. There have been flashes, but consistency is key.
His best year statistically was 2022. Put up decent numbers, just over 4,100 yards, 25 TDs, only 8 picks. Solid.
Solid, yeah. But maybe not elite solid, which is what people expected.
Yeah, exactly. Felt like there was another gear there.
So this really brings up the big question.
Mm-hmm.
What's actually different in 2025? What could unlock that truly elite potential we've been waiting for?
Good question. What is different?
Well, the source lays out a few compelling reasons for optimism. First off, they argue he's got arguably the best supporting cast he's ever had.
Okay. Like who?
Think about it. The receivers, they specifically call out this dangerous duo of Brian Thomas Jr., the rookie, and Travis Hunter, who we'll definitely talk more about.
Oh, for sure.
Plus, a solid offensive line, huge for any QB, and what they call a stacked stable of running backs.
So a balanced attack then.
Exactly. Keeps defenses honest. And maybe the biggest piece, a new offensive-minded head coach, Liam Cohen.
Ah, okay. Liam Cohen. What's the thinking there? What does he bring specifically according to the source that unlocks Lawrence? Is it just like new plays?
It seems to be more about the style of offense. Cohen's system is known for being creative, adaptable, really good at leveraging a quarterback's arm talent.
So playing to Lawrence's strengths more.
Precisely. He designs stuff to create explosive plays, give clearer reads, think maybe more play action, RPOs, things that could be lethal with Lawrence's arm and that running game threat.
Okay, that makes sense. Making it easier for him to make big plays.
Yeah, easier, more impactful. So the specific predictions are pretty big. They're forecasting. Lawrence surpasses 4,500 passing yards.
Wow.
Throws over 30 touchdowns.
Okay.
And gets a career-best passer rating. Significant jumps.
Those are definitely big numbers. He's got the contract now, maybe the stats to match. So if he does hit those marks, what does that mean for the Jaguars as a team? Like big picture.
Well, the ripple effect could be massive, right?
Yeah.
If Lawrence is playing at that elite level, the whole offense goes from just solid to potentially, top tier in the league.
Yeah.
And that kind of QB play, it means the Jags aren't just hoping for a playoff spot. They're likely real contenders for the division title, maybe even pushing for a high seed in the AFC.
Right. It changes their entire ceiling.
Wow.
Allows them to hang with the big dogs.
Totally. Week in, week out.
All right, now, this next one, this is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Uh-huh.
The second hot take revolves around the rookie, Travis Hunter. Get this. The prediction is he plays all 17 games.
Ambitious.
And makes significant plays on both offense and defense. Consistently.
A two-way phenom.
He's arguably the most fascinating storyline in the whole league heading into 2025, isn't he? I mean, the first real two-way player in decades.
It's wild. A legitimate threat at wide receiver and cornerback with supposedly insane stamina.
Just unheard of today. Everyone's so specialized.
And what's really interesting here isn't just Hunter's talent, which is obvious, but the fact that the Jags are actually embracing this.
They're really going for it.
Seems like it. The analysis says Hunter demanded strong word to play both ways during the pre-draft process.
Wow.
And the Jaguars seem more than happy to oblige. Apparently, the staff has been blown away by his work ethic in the offseason stuff.
You almost have to be to even attempt this.
Seriously. Like he runs on pure adrenaline or something. I don't think I could handle one side of the ball for 17 games, let alone 2.
Huh. No kidding. So what does this two-way role actually look like on paper for his rookie year? Is he starting everywhere?
So the source projects, he's already getting reps on both sides in minicamp, which shows they're serious.
Okay.
Offense, penciled in as WR2. That means a lot of snaps, a lot of targets.
Right beside Brian Thomas Jr. or rotating.
Likely getting significant time as the number 2 option. Then defense, projected as a backup corner.
Okay, behind who?
Behind guys like Jerrion Jones, Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, providing depth there.
Gotcha. So WR2 and backup corner. And the specific prediction.
Stay healthy for all 17 games.
Which is huge in itself.
Huge.
Yeah.
And post at least 10 combined receiving TDs and interceptions.
10 combined. That's a lot for a rookie doing double duty.
That's a massive ask.
Hasn't history kind of shown this is almost impossible to sustain in the modern game? Like, guys burn out, get injured.
Yeah.
What makes the Jags think this time is different, besides just Hunter being a freak athlete? Is there a specific plan?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The source doesn't really detail an exact load management plan beyond saying, he's got stamina.
Right.
But it implies the Jags believe his unique talent, the strategic flexibility he offers, outweighs those historical risks.
How so? What's the strategic advantage?
Well, think about it. 3rd and short, Hunter's at receiver, drawing coverage, maybe the play doesn't work. Next snap, he's lining up at corner.
Forces the opponent to adjust on the fly.
Exactly. Or maybe creates a mismatch they could exploit.
Yeah.
His presence alone forces coordinators to account for him constantly, even snap to snap. It's about leverage.
Creates headaches for the other team.
Totally. Which brings up a good question for you listening. How do you manage a player like this? What kind of real impact could a true two-way guy have on game plans today? Fascinating to think about. It really is. A huge challenge for the Jags coaches, but potentially a massive reward.
Yeah.
Okay, shifting gears. Let's talk defense.
Yep. The other side of the ball.
The third big prediction is that Jacksonville's pass defense will improve significantly in 2025. And let's be honest.
It needs to. Badly.
Oh, it desperately needs to. I was looking at the 2024 numbers again. They hurt rough.
Ooh.
Second worst defense in the entire league in yards allowed per game. Almost 390 yards.
Yeah, great.
And dead last, like 32nd out of 32 in passing yards allowed, over 257 yards per game through the air.
Eeks.
And they were bottom 5 in a bunch of other categories too. Just massive weakness. Put so much pressure on Lawrence and the offense.
Yeah, that 2024 defense was definitely holding them back. But according to the analysis, there's real optimism for a big turnaround in 2025.
Okay, based on what? New scheme, new players?
Mostly key additions in the secondary. They brought in Jordan Lewis, who's known for his coverage.
From Dallas, right.
Yeah.
Slot guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric Murray, a versatile safety. Both are expected to step right into starting roles, basically.
Okay, immediate upgrades then.
That's the hope. An immediate boost to that leaky coverage unit. And of course,
Travis Hunter again.
can't forget him, he'll be moonlighting, as they put it, as a defensive back too. Even as a backup, his talent adds depth and flexibility back there.
So multiple new faces expected to make an impact.
Right. Which leads to the prediction from the source. It's not that they'll suddenly be like the 85 Bears or anything.
Probably not overnight.
No. But that the defense will finish in the middle of the pack in 2025.
Middle of the pack. Doesn't sound amazing, but compared to dead last.
Exactly. It would represent a huge improvement, a massive leap, really.
Is that realistic, though, going from worst to average in one offseason?
It's definitely ambitious, but achievable with the additions and maybe just, better health and cohesion. And strategically, it's crucial.
How so?
Well, moving from the basement to the middle means the offense isn't always playing uphill battles.
All right, they get some help.
The defense gets some stops, maybe forces a few turnovers. It lets the offense operate without needing to score 35 points every game. It fundamentally changes the team's potential.
Gives them a fighting chance in more games.
For sure. And the article points out they get a big test early. Week 2 against Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Ooh, yeah. That's a tough one.
That'll be a real litmus test for this new look secondary.
Yeah.
If they hold their own there, it says a lot.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the 3 big takes coming out of Jags Minicamp, according to the source material.
What?
First, Trevor Lawrence is predicted to finally hit that next gear, have a career-best statistical season.
Good breakout year.
Second, Travis Hunter. The prediction is he plays all 17 games, makes a real impact on both offense and defense, maybe changes how we think about player roles.
The two-way experiment.
And third, the pass defense makes a significant leap. Not elite, maybe, but moving from the bottom towards respectability, becoming middle of the pack.
A much-needed improvement.
These minicamp takes really give us a fascinating glimpse, don't they, into the Jags' strategy and where the breakouts might happen.
Absolutely. They're clearly shaping the narrative, setting expectations high for these specific areas. It shows where the internal belief is.
So for you listening, what does this all mean? Are these predictions going to hold up, or is this just typical off-season buzz? What's your gut feeling?
And maybe drilling down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
What single factor, if you had to pick just one, do you think will ultimately decide whether these hot takes actually happen on the field, or they just end up being interesting ideas that didn't quite pan out?